Hi, my name is Claire Tranowski, and earlier this semester, Dr. John Waltman asked all the students to choose a company to research and to provide information on in order to find different external factors that were affecting the company, and I chose Halliburton Corporation. Halliburton began in 1919 as the Halliburton oil well cementing company. Since then, it has grown into the second largest oil field service company in the world. It resides or operates in 70 different countries around the world and has its headquarters in Texas. I primarily researched this company because I knew nothing about it. I had never really heard of Halliburton. I actually found out later that one of my friends works for Halliburton, and so I found that out about 2 weeks ago. So that was a really interesting thing to kind of find out while I was doing this project. Some of the external factors I researched, I originally researched 3, but I'm going to present 2 to you today for the sake of time. Jamie Lee Jones versus Halliburton is one of them. In 2005, Jamie Lee Jones was contracted to work in Baghdad, Iraq, as a worker there, and according to her, she also experienced some difficulties while she was there. One of them was that she was raped by multiple coworkers while she was living in the barracks that they had placed her in while she was on assignment there. She also has filed a couple other cases against some coworkers who were allegedly a part of this issue as well. In 2007, she filed this lawsuit against Halliburton, who was operating as KBR at the time. Since then, Halliburton and KBR have separated ways. KBR is no longer a part of the Halliburton Corporation. They now operate as their own corporation. In her contract, though, Jamie Lee Jones found out that any complaints against the company were to be dealt with in a mandatory arbitration, which is a private meeting between the company and whoever was filing the claim at the time. And in this case, it was her. Because of this, she decided to take that court case up to the Fifth Circuit courtroom, and she ended up being allowed to fight her case in a trial room in court instead of going through arbitration with the company. That was in 2009. The trial actually began in June of 2011 and resulted in the end in July 2011 of the jury finding all of Jones's claims against KBR and the other parties to be not true, or if they were true, it didn't have anything to do with KBR, saying that the claims were not related to her employment. Therefore, KBR has no say in how things went on, and so that was one of the external factors I researched. The second one was the Deepwater Horizon explosion, sinking, and the leak in the Gulf of Mexico that happened quite recently in April of 2010. On April 20th, 2010, the Deepwater Horizon exploded, and it sank on April 22nd, 2010. The explosion resulted in the deaths of 9 of the crew members, injuring many others, and hurting many families and different businesses around the Gulf of Mexico. After the ship sank, it the well underneath the ship continued to leak oil, and it was estimated that about 8,000 gallons of crude oil were being leaked into the Gulf of Mexico every day. Because of this, thousands and thousands of gallons were leaked into the Gulf of Mexico between the beginning of the leak in April 2010 and when the leak was plugged in September 2010. This leak, the environmental factors of it, and the effects that it had on different families and different states surrounding the Gulf of Mexico resulted in many legal battles. Some of the largest legal battles came between the 4 companies that were involved, which were BP, Transocean, Anadarko, Petroleum Corporation, and Halliburton. Halliburton's particular play or role in this defense was they actually helped in cementing. They were the company that was hired to cement the oil plug and to make it workable, and that oil plug actually was a part of the explosion. It had only been cemented about 20 hours before the ship exploded, and the well wasn't totally plugged up because of it. Litigation for these cases is ongoing, and actually most of it won't actually even begin to start in a trial room or in a courtroom until February 2012. So we will be seeing more and more of this in the news as it continues to be processed in both the United States and around the world. In the Jones case, I learned a lot of different things. Partially that Halliburton and KBR Kellogg Brown & Root believed that Jones was defrauding their company by defamation of the name of the company, and that she wanted to do this out of spite. Due to these claims that she brought against the company, they are hoping to collect returns from her on the litigation fees that they had to pay in the case, and I believe that is going to be an ongoing case as well. That's going to be something that we'll be hearing a lot more about in the coming months. Originally, Jones had sued them for $114 million, and I don't believe that Halliburton will be suing her back for the same amount, but it will be probably close to at least $1 million in legal fees that they had to spend on this case. With the Deepwater Horizon, of course, litigation is still continuing on. There are many families that were wounded emotionally from this, and there's also just different companies who have had a lot of they weren't allowed to do business during the time of the oil leak because of the oil leak. So as we see these play out, I hope that Halliburton will be able to continue to defend themselves, or be able to pay those fees if that's what it comes down to. Despite these 2 external factors and many others that have come up over the past few years, Halliburton will continue to be one of the world's leading oil service providers, partially because of its size. It's in 70 different countries, 70 plus different countries, and then as well as having many different subsidiaries, and the type of work that they do. Oil is a big business, and it's a type of business that isn't going to go out of style anytime soon. It's going to remain as one of the leading businesses in the world. I don't see Halliburton losing themselves or losing business necessarily because of these incidents. I believe that they will continue to grow and prosper as an oil well business. Thank you for listening.